IVM.
We would like to thank Storytel for sponsoring this show. Storytel is an audiobook platform that lets you hear hundreds of thousands of stories on your mobile, on your PC, wherever you prefer. You can get a great deal by signing up at the URL storytel.com/IVM. So this week I'm going to recommend Watership Down by Richard Adams. It's a quirky book. It's the story of a group of rabbits, how they face the destruction of their den and subsequent escape and journey to their new home. It's funny, it's heartwarming, really cool. It's basically Exodus with rabbits. I think you'll enjoy it if you haven't read it before. And let me tell you a little bit about where you can go get it. Go get it at storytel.com/IVM. And you know what will happen? If you go and sign up on this link, you'll get your first month for just 99 rupees a month instead of $299. That's $200 off. Go get this book right now. You'll really enjoy it.
Hello one, hello all. Welcome to the Diary of the Traveling Professor. And I'm Siddharth Deshmukh, your friendly neighborhood traveling professor himself. And as I am recording this podcast entry, I'm staring out of my window and I'm seeing snowflakes. Yeah, it is actually snowing in London. I'm wondering if it's going to last this time. But there's something really, really magical about snow. It's eventually just a water particle coming down from the sky, but it's so different from rain, probably because it's so rare in London, isn't it? So we always appreciate the stuff that's rare, I suppose, and not the stuff that's mundane. It's even rarer to get snow in India, right? And it is almost as rare as landing a great job, especially if you're starting out your career. I know it's a bit of a downer for a lot of people listening to this podcast, this diary entry of mine, but it's going to be about job hunting in the times of the pandemic, and especially when it comes to placement season across institutes. Having seen the placement process quite up close and personal, both for summer placements as well as final placements, I truly believe that this is a bit of a landmark year as far as placements are concerned. Corporates typically who had the ability to actually predict what's going to happen in the near future, if not the long or at least medium-term future, could actually predict that, we need so many management trainees or so many summer trainees. And so therefore, especially if you're in a good B school, you're going to land a reasonably good job. The whole equation worked in a kind of predictable way. You took your lumps, you paid the high student fees, got into a great institute or a decent institute, if not a great institute. And then you got a job that's kind of going to allow you to pay off your student debt and kickstart your career, right? And hopefully learn something along the way in these 2 years. I guess that's the whole way in which the postgraduate programs in India, especially around MBAs, worked. This year has been very different because this year it has not kind of rained jobs on campuses and all those headlines that you typically see. And what you end up seeing is, a really big fight for jobs across campuses. And it's nobody's fault. It's not, your placement officer's fault, or it's not your placement team's fault, or it's not the company's fault, or it's not, your institute's fault. It is just going to be a very rough time making predictions about the immediate and midterm future. So how do you go about, being kind of picky and choosy? Because what you've seen, if you're a student, is your seniors being a little bit picky and choosy about the kind of jobs that they have and the kind of expectations that you had from the institute that you joined and all of that. Well, my advice to all of you would be, number one, it's not going to be like last year. I'm sure you understand that. But that's not the reason why I thought this diary entry was important, because there's so much of stuff that you already know. You do not want, gyan from a professor like me about how not to, take this to heart that, it's going to be a tough year, etc. What I'd rather say is that I think with different metrics comes a different way of looking at life. And I always like to perhaps relook at the reasons why we do an MBA. And it's to have a better career, perhaps, than the kind of career that we would have had if we didn't do a post-graduation. I'm not just talking of MBAs, but any kind of postgraduate degree. So instead of trying to snag the best possible job on campus or trying to, get a job that is going to help you clear off your student debt at the very earliest, I think it's high time that we relook at our metrics. Now, I know it's easier said than done, and it's easier for me than it is for a student, kind of caught in the quagmire of this entire pandemic. But what I do notice is that people who actually look at, saying no to the immediate job hunt that is in front of them, but saying yes, a bigger yes to the career that you're trying to plan, kind of makes it an easier pill to swallow. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that, hey, if you're trying to build a career in, let's say, advertising or finance or HR, if you get a job in an agency, even if it may not be the agency of your choice, or if you get something which is in HR, which may not be the best possible HR team in the world or whatever, I think it's high time that we figure out how to scale down our expectations about the immediate job that we land on campus, and how you can set your goals to an era of post-pandemia, or rather something that allows you to look into the kind of midterm future, not even the distant future, and kind of say, how do I look at the way in which my career is shaping? How do I actually make this decision about taking up a job or even not taking up a job, or even saying no to an opportunity, or, not applying for something or applying for something in times of scarcity or survival? I think the only metric that we have is not about the kind of salary that you're making, or the speed at which you'll, recover your student debt, or the speed at which, other factors will go in terms of your promotion and stuff like that. It is to genuinely connect to the career you're trying to build, and whether this opportunity in front of you, the job opportunity in front of you, is going to help that career to blossom. Now, that actually depends upon data. Now, that data is not going to come from the past. It's not going to come from your seniors. It's not going to come from people around you, because they don't know. But that data is going to come from a variety of factors in the industry that you're trying to enter. What is it, like, for example, that is growing in the industry? What are the skills that will be required? Does this job allow you to develop those skills? Does this job allow you to get the right kind of network? So going down to first principles about any job, the ones about learning, the ones about skill, the ones about skill building, that is, the ones about building the right kind of network, and the ones about actually enjoying every day at work, the ones about where the right team is, the right kind of context, and the right kind of, entity that your organization is, perhaps are going to make a much bigger difference to the way in which you shape your career than, just snagging the biggest fish of a job that you get off campus. That's an ego point. And that perhaps would have been better in a time of plenty, but certainly not in the uncertain times that we are facing today. So this post of mine, this diary entry of mine, was more about the decision-making process that we go through when we are trying to look at a job that especially we are trying to get just out of campus, or, maybe the summer training that we're trying to get. And the fact is that I think it's high time that we look at perhaps slightly different metrics in order for us to A, be sane, and B, actually do something about it. Yeah, do something about it, rather than just accept that, fate has dealt us a cruel hand and that's all there is to it. So any person who has had a problem in planning their career, or in, kind of understanding what is the right metric, just reach out to me on LinkedIn or on Instagram, or just reach out to me in whichever way you find comfortable, especially if you're a student of mine. And perhaps I could, have a chat with you. No advice, maybe just have a chat. Sometimes it's always better to chat, right? So on that slightly serious note, but I thought it was important for me to say this at this point in time, okay? Especially when life is so difficult for students. Just hang in there, and perhaps just have a rethink of metrics that you may want to consider. It's so strange that all those people who were struggling to, get the best possible job on campus, and I've seen that as associate dean of a very good institute, right, have kind of relaxed their expectations as far as jobs are concerned when they step out into the real world. And it's kind of, you take it in your stride. You become a little chilled, and you start looking at your career rather than the job opportunity. And this is something to do with being perhaps part of a peer group, which is also driving the competitive pressures up us to, doing better than your fellow man or woman or whatever you want to say, right? So perhaps just get out of that metric, get into the right metric, and you'll do fine. So with a note of positivity and optimism, I'm signing off. Do listen to me on Instagram and LinkedIn, wherein I'm also doing a video series called The Traveling Professor Investigates. I've done one on cancel culture, one on anime, and the recent one has been on e-gaming and the allure around e-gaming, right? And if you love podcasts like these, do go to ivmpodcast.com or download the app, or just go to wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and you'll find all podcasts from IVM there. On that happy note then, until next time.
I hope you enjoyed that show. If you aren't following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'd like to thank the sponsors on the network this week, Storytel and The Whole Truth Foods. Thank you for supporting us. We have a new show out this week, Candid Kannan with Siddharth Kannan. Sid Gay is a well-known RJ. He has an incredible show with some of the most amazing Bollywood celebrities. As part of the first week's episode, we're releasing 5 episodes at one time, so you can get your fill of Sid. You can hear him talk to Varun Dhawan, Anil Kapoor, Anurag Kashyap, Bhumi Pednekar, and a whole lot more. This week on the Edges and Sledges podcast with Varun DJ and Ashwin, hear them talk about the historic victory that India achieved at Gaba. Maruk Inayat had an amazing talk with Gul Panag. They spoke about the farmer protests and why Bollywood celebs are acting the way that they are. And finally, Shunya 1 is back this week. Shiladitya and me talked to Anirudh Singla from Pepper Content. We have a great lineup of guests coming up in the coming weeks, including Deepak Abid, the co-founder of India Gold. Definitely check that out. And with that, I hope to see you again next week.
Feeling overwhelmed, anxious, struggling with too many obstacles, don't know where your life is headed? Well, if you are dealing with one or all of these, tune into the Positively Unlimited podcast, because in each episode, I share a life lesson, a life hack, a pro tip that can help you get your life back on track. All episodes are available on the IBM website, IBM Podcast app, or wherever it is that you get your podcast from.